Hey guys, sorry it looks like I didn't get a lot of sleep and I'm doing this kind of last minute without any preparation, but I am. I just wanted to talk about the election a little bit. So we know now that Donald Trump is going to be our next president come January. And I know a lot of people are upset by that, but my question is why? I didn't support Trump, I didn't support Clinton. But we knew who our candidates were back in July. We knew that they were both garbage. We knew that. All the people who support Hillary Clinton who are upset right now about Trump, for example, we knew Hillary Clinton was for the TPP, she's for NAFTA, for the deregulation of Wall Street, she was against the legalization of marijuana, she's for the drug war, against single-payer healthcare system, for fracking, she was for the Iraq war, for going into Libya, she was for the no-fly zone in Syria, the military-industrial complex system, the privatized prison system. She was against the living wage. She was basically a Republican. We knew this. Everybody knew this. And Donald Trump, on the other hand, he's the guy who said, grab him by the pussy. He said we should murder the family members of ISIS. He wanted to build the wall. Everything that both of these candidates they're not good candidates, and we knew that back in July. And we knew that the outcome was going to be one or the other. So anybody who's upset now and probably will continue to be upset for the next 4 years, entertain us on social media, YouTube, news media, whatever. I ask that you not. I ask that you not be too upset because part of me is upset, but I can't be because we've known for a while who our candidates were. Jill Stein wasn't going to win. Gary Johnson wasn't going to win. Bernie Sanders wasn't going to win. So, but they're not throwaway votes. I also want to tell people that don't count those as throwaway votes, not just because we have the Electoral College and we live in an oligarchy where your vote doesn't matter, but for the fact that if somebody best represents your ideology and your opinions, you should feel comfortable signing your name by not signing, but drawing a line, clicking the screen, whatever, signing your name by them. You should be comfortable with that. I think it's a throwaway vote if you vote for someone who you don't really identify with. But it's like people don't even know. If you get to 5% of the vote, your party gets $10 million. Next elections, a bunch of other cool benefits. Jill Stein or Gary Johnson, would have got 5% of the vote. But what if you get 15% of the vote in the national election? During primaries, for example, when they go into the general election, they start doing the debates. If you get 15% of the vote, you're allowed to be in the debates. Now, why is it 15%? Just pulled out of someone's rectum one day. It used to be the League of Women Voters, which was nonpartisan. They used to run the debates, but now it's ran by, of course, the Republican Democrat parties, respectively. They pick the questions, the candidates, the location, venue, everything. They do all that now. And so that's why they get to say, hey, you can't join us unless you get 15% of the popular vote, which since there's such idiotic propaganda that's been going around for a couple decades now, the throwaway vote, don't vote for a third-party candidate, you're throwing your vote away. No, you're not. Stop saying that. If we can get 15% just 15%, if everybody in the United States knew I can vote for whoever it is who best matches my ideology, anyone like Jill Stein or Bernie Sanders, well, we know that the primaries were rigged against Bernie now. We know that. But aside from that, if someone who is a third-party candidate, an independent candidate, can get 15% of the vote, just 15%, they're allowed on the debate stage. The 3 debates a year that people decide to watch and they don't pay attention to the rest of the year and the year before that. Yeah, you can get a third person up there, so you don't get people going to the poll booths like, Trump? Okay, Clinton. What's a Johnson? Stein? I've never heard of these nonsense. And I don't even know what I was trying to imitate there. That was bad. The point is, you get people who see, Trump. I see Jill Stein. I remember her. She was on stage. And I remember Clinton. Well, I listened to all 3 of them. And I like Trump the best. Or Stein the best. Or Clinton the best. Wouldn't it be nice if more people just voted the way their heart desired? Is anatomically incorrect. If people voted to whoever most represented them and most represented their ideologies and belief, wouldn't it just be wonderful to see what America could come up with? Not just the 2 piles of dog crap that we had this election. Point of my video, don't be upset. Hillary didn't win. Good, she's a piece of crap. If Clinton would have won, I would have said, good, Trump's a piece of crap. They're both piles of garbage. Now that we know who our next president is, work with your congressman, work with local officials to get your ideas out, to get your opinions out, and try to push America in the direction you want it to be. If everybody worked together and tried to cast their opinions and cast what they wanted rather than just voting for the R or the D, I think we would live in a better America. So, go vote again in 4 years, but for real, not for the R or the D. If there's an R or D next to their name, that's fine. Vote for them, their name. Pay attention. We don't just have two candidates.